Cool. Going live. Hi friends, we're going live, everybody. We just got to do a couple things with settings, and then we'll get the show going. But hello friends, we're going to get going. Alright, we're doing a vintage stream here, folks. So there we go. Let's see if we can get that one going. Give it a second. I want to put some things out on Discord, everybody, and then we'll get going. Alright, give me a second, folks. We're just putting some stuff out there. We're just putting stuff out on Discord really quick, folks, so give me a second. Got to put a couple things in the servers. But yeah, welcome everybody. We're going to do a Sunday stream. We're doing like streaming 3 days in a row. We just had a lot of boards we got to do, everybody, so it's a fun time. So I'm just going to put it out there. Give me a second. Right, give me a second, folks. We're just doing some stuff putting some stuff out. Right. Give me a second, folks. Give me a second. And I think that'll do it. There's one more. Alright, give me a second. I'm trying to get this. Okay, let me try this again. Give me a second, folks. I want to try and get the Instagram one going. Let me see if they don't completely hate me today. Give me a second. If not, we'll just go through. Let me just try this one. Let me try again. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright, let's try that. Let's see if we're going live. Alright, give me a second, folks. I want to see if we're going to get going. And I don't think this is going to happen. I think we're just going to be on Twitch today, everybody. Alright, whatever. Alright, everybody. We're going to not do the Instagram simultaneous. Wait, did I just... Oh, hello. There we go. Alright, cool. Alright. Alright. Thank you, friends. Alright, everybody. We're going to get going. So, we're doing a vintage Alps stream. I was working on some Alps stuff, packing stuff up for some other clients, and I figured I might as well do another board. This is going to be a weird build. So I've done my Omni keys. I have like my blue Alps Omni keys. If you look right behind, yeah, there we go. If you look right behind me, I have my other two Omni keys. Above me, I have my other vintage stuff. So I have some other 75% in that far corner back there. But we're doing an 1800% build today, folks. So I want to thank Blue Keeps from over in Careless's server. He kind of put my attention on this particular board. What's up, Sandman? So this is gonna be really cool. So this is a really cool board. So actually, I got this, Sandman. I actually got this from you, dude. So like, I'll be completely honest. Like, I was gonna get this board for harvesting, but when I got it in hand, I realized like this is a really cool board, and I don't really see a lot of like 96% boards, at least on the Alps side. So I figured this was worth restoring. And I learned a little bit of more information about this particular keyboard. This was actually a terminal keyboard for an old computer back in the day. So this is a really cool board. So we've fully restored everything. So I've cleaned up the PCB. There was a lot of really messed up residue, and there was a lot of grime on this PCB. So this PCB has been fully cleaned, fully restored. All the pads have been desoldered. All of the switches, we're going with pine white clicky switches. So those are these have all been restored for the board. And also we have a steel mounting plate, which is also pretty rusted and disgusting. So we also got this plate all cleaned up. So it's really cool. It's in an 1800 layout, so we have kind of this condensed layout. So we have a double F row, but we're not losing any buttons, which is really cool. And it's also ISO, so which is really kind of cool. So I'm really excited to get this board going. So I'm going to put the case over to the side because we're not really going to be working with that for really much at all, which is going to be really cool. So this is a really cool board. I'm really excited to get this one built. It's just so different from what I have, is I don't really have any terminal boards. And then I have all the other parts too that we kind of saved. So I want to get some of the other parts out too that we got to do. So since it was a terminal board, the cable's like ridiculously small. So, but we'll be using that cable to do testing once we get some switches in. And then also keycaps. These are double shot keycaps. So that's part of also why I wanted to save it. And they were in really good condition. So that's going to be really cool. So I'm really excited to get those. So we got our keycaps, then we have some other screws and hardware, and also I want to get my stabilizer parts out as well, because we'll get those going. But yeah, it's a really cool little board, and I'm really excited to get this one going. This is a really nifty little board. And again, we've been on a restoration kick with vintage keyboards lately, so it's been really cool. So this plate has been fully refinished. It was a lot of work getting this plate back to its former glory, but now this plate is good to go. We're going to put the stabilizer clips in, and then we'll work on getting this soldered to the PCB. So that'll be really cool. So this will be this shouldn't be too bad of a stream, folks. So just get all my parts out. So I just want to get the clips. I want to get my little kind of spudger tool out, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we're soldering everything in today. That's just kind of the case with Alps, but this is a really cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 stabilized keys on this board, which is pretty cool. So I love this board. I've been dying to get this one together because it's just so different and so weird. I really haven't seen a board like this. I mean, I've gotten information about this board, so this board isn't particularly rare, but I haven't really been able to find one other than this one. So yeah, again, Sandman, really big thank you and shout out to you, my man. I really wasn't expecting to get a cool board like this. And this board is going to be a really cool little piece in my collection. And it'll be nice to have like an example. I'm not really an 1800%, like a 96% or 1800 layout fan. It's just I prefer full size, to be completely honest. But I like this board because it's unique and different. And like I said, it was worth saving instead of just harvesting it. So that's gonna be really cool. And another thing too is we can kind of see on the case. I'll show the case again. This case is ridiculously yellowed. We're not retro brighting it, so I wanted to just kind of keep that yellow as part of the patina. The plastic has been thoroughly scrubbed though, so all like the dirt, grime, all that crap has been cleaned off this. So that's been pretty good. So that's what we're doing, folks. So yeah, welcome friends. We're having fun here. So, and yeah, we're gonna get these clips in here, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we're just gonna we have a total of 7 stabilized keycaps. I like putting the clips in first. And then we'll kind of go through and put in 4 switches in the corners, and then we'll just solder in all the switches. So this is a really cool board. So and we have some other kind of cool restoration projects coming up, and we have some really cool stuff coming in the pipeline. We're going to be doing a Topre build this week, so stay tuned for that, folks. So we will be doing Topre and some other restoration stuff. So we got a lot of, it's been kind of light on streaming the past couple of weeks because there hasn't really been much to do. But we got a lot of really cool streams coming up, folks, in terms of stuff we're building. We have a client restoration that we're going to do this week, which is going to be really cool. So it'll be really nice doing a client build for someone who's paying me. So that's really nice. So it's going to be a lot of really cool stuff. But yeah, like you said, if anyone's interested in I specialize in Alps commissions. So like if you want to do like either a modern Alps conversion, or if you would like to have like a vintage board restored to its like proper former glory, like definitely reach out, and I'd be happy to like kind of talk prices to you and tell you kind of my process, what we do to the board and what we can do to the board. And also certain boards, if you have a board you want restored, certain boards could also be converted. I could also do PCB swaps. Certain boards we can put in a modern PCB, and it allows you to have like proper like QMK customization. So most of the restorations I've been doing, I use the original PCBs. Just because I like try to keep them as original as possible. But I do have a project kind of in my like really far pipeline where we're gonna do a modern PCB swap and a vintage board, which will be really cool. So that's gonna be cool. So we're getting these clips in. So we got those ones in for the numpad. But this is gonna be a really cool board, and I'm really excited to finally get this one going because this is just such a cool project. Which is really cool. I think I dropped a clip. Where'd it go? Did I drop a clip? Yeah, I did drop a clip. Where'd it go? Huh. I can't keep track of my own stuff. That's crazy. Well, all right. That's why I have a bajillion parts on hand. So I'm going to grab a stabilizer part just to, yeah. So I've gone through a lot of Alps and vintage boards. So I have a very healthy supply of parts and stuff. So we're good. Very, very good. So, yeah, but you are killing me small. So there we go. So once we get this God, I can't be trusted with anything. There we go. So once we get this one in, then we'll start doing some soldering. We'll fire up the soldering iron, the solder vent, and whatnot, and we'll get going. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time, everybody. And there we go. Cool. We got our clips in. I'm gonna put my stab parts away. But yeah, this is gonna be a really cool board. I'm really excited to get this one going because it's just so different. Like, again, like I'm a big fan of like most of the Alps boards I have are full sizes or some of the smaller like 60% with numpads like my Apple M0116 or my 2GS keyboard. Most of my Alps, my vintage boards and the ones I'm acquiring are going to be full size. So this is kind of nice to have something that's going to be a little bit different of a layout. So that's really cool. So we're going to put that, we got our clips in. Let's get some switches out and we'll kind of go from there. So get our soldering iron fired up and we'll get going. Hey, Sandman, like, I'll be completely honest. I'll show you, sometimes you just kind of get deals, but also I'll show you this, man. This is a Northgate OmniKey Gold Badge. I got this thing for 80 bucks. And the seller, the seller's probably kicking themselves in this one, because, like, this one right here, it has blue Alps. So I got a set of 100 blue Alps plus this really cool keyboard for 80 bucks. And I fully restored it, and it's amazing, and it's not going to leave my desk. I love this thing, so... that one's really cool. So yeah, I got a gold badge OmniKey for 80 bucks. Like that's a steal. Like that's probably my best steal and find I've gotten. So I love it. And I was actually gonna harvest this board, but this is a really cool board. So my soldering iron went a little too high. Let's let that cool down. So yeah, really cool stuff. So we got some really cool vintage boards. We're gonna do an FK 2001 that I fully restored because I've harvested a ton of FK 2001s and I just want a nice one for my collection. And then we're doing a client restoration. And then we also have another OmniKey on the way. And then an Apple M0115, which I hope has Salmon Alps. I've been trying to find a Salmon Alps Apple extended keyboard one. So hopefully that works out. So we'll kind of get it going. So yeah. So my introduction to Alps, actually I got into Alps this year. So I went to a keyboard, I live in Los Angeles, so my alma mater is the University of Southern California, and I've been pretty supportive of the student-run keyboard club over at USC. And I've been to a few of their mini meets and whatnot and meeting the students, and it was really cool. So I went to a meet back in April of this year, and the president of the club brought out a bag, and it had these old Alps keyboards, and I had been curious about Alps and I've heard of them, and he said that they saved these keyboards from the e-waste bin at the engineering school. So they said they didn't have like the time or the equipment to like work on the boards, so they said like they wanted to give me the boards as a gift, and I said okay, thank you. So I took the boards, and it was 3 boards, and one of them was an AEK with Salmon Alps. One had 2 boards had bamboo black Alps, and then the other one just kind of had ivory Alps. And it was really cool. So like I took a look at the boards and I figured, well, I'm going to harvest these boards and I'm going to put them in some modern keyboards. So I have 3 I gave 1 board to my friend who's also into keyboards. And then I have 3 builds that have the switches from those USC keyboards. And they're really kind of special. Like the switches in those boards, they're not rare. They're not special within the world of Alps. But what's really kind of cool is the story of those switches. Like, again, those were in the engineering school. They were maybe in a library. They maybe helped students write a term paper back in the day. Like, they could have helped someone do a final project or a dissertation. So it's just kind of cool thinking of the story of the switches and where those switches came from. So my bamboo black build, build, my Salmon build, and my Ivory Alps builds. I have them in some Geon boards. Like, those boards are really cool because of the story of the switches in there. So the switches are special, at least for me, because of the story and the like where those switches come from. Like, in general, Salmon, Black, and Ivory Alps aren't really special, but those boards are special to me because of the story of those switches and where those boards, the original boards, came from. So that's something that's like really cool with those particular keyboards. So I'm really happy to have those boards. So I only got into Alps like 7 months ago. So like Careless, who's kind of the guru for like modern Alps conversions and whatnot, he told me like I became like an overnight Alps expert, which is really kind of cool. And like I said, like I was at Keep Life and I brought a ton of modern Alps builds in addition to some of my vintage stuff. So like I always just tell people like online or at meets, if you're seeing Alps stuff online, like on Discord or Reddit, it's probably me. Like I even gotten the attention of people like Shiro-san, which is really cool. So Shiro-san's like kind of everyone kind of knows him as kind of the go-to guy for Alps in like the YouTube space. And he's kind of taken a step back from doing Alps because he's covered like everything. And I even had talks with him on like Discord and Reddit, and he really likes the stuff that I'm doing. So that's really that was a really nice compliment when I got the attention of Shiro-san, because like kind of when I was learning about Alps after I got those boards, I was watching his videos on YouTube. So to kind of get a shout out from him and having him tell me like I'm doing some cool shit, it's like it was really cool. So that was really awesome. So yeah, but Alps are really cool. Like I've only been into Alps for about literally less than a year. And it's just become my favorite switch. I still have Cherry MX and I still have Topre. Like I have a pretty extensive Cherry MX collection of like I have a Kohaku, I have Geon stuff, like I have TGR stuff, like so I have some really cool Cherry MX boards too as well. So like and I have some really rare Cherry MX stuff as well too. So like those boards aren't going anywhere. But Alps, if I'm gonna grab a keyboard, I rotate keyboards daily. Like I'll go through 5, 6, 7 keyboards in a day when I'm at my desk or gaming or doing work. It's like I'm more so grabbing Alps boards at this point. So I love my Alps stuff, but my Cherry MX stuff isn't going anywhere. I'm not selling my Cherry boards anytime soon. So because they're really cool and it's fun taking those out to meets. I did a keyboard meet at the University UC Irvine here in Southern California a couple weeks ago, and I took out 50 keyboards. I literally took out the entirety of my collection, which is really cool. So, and I also took out some boards I had on loan. So it's been really cool. So we're gonna get this board going. So we're just gonna solder in these switches just to kind of hold everything in place, and then we're gonna get this one going. So this is a smaller board, so it should be a little bit of a quicker stream today. So, but this is a really cool board. So yeah, so a lot of really good stuff, everybody. These are really nice boards. So, like I said, Sandman, thank you so much for this board. This is an awesome board. And C-Llama, these are the type of switches you're getting. So, you're getting switches from the batch of these switches, which is really cool. So, awesome. So yeah, these are really good switches. Let me just get these soldered in. I'll kind of talk about the Pine Whites. They're really good switches for what they are. There we go. Okay, those are in. Perfect. Let's do this side over here. All right. Let's get got one more switch I want to do just to kind of hold stuff in. Kind of making sure everything is properly seated. Cool. And we're good. All right, cool. Let's just kind of start putting switches. Yeah, that plate. So, it's fun thing about the ETAR build, the Tom, those I've been waiting that there's been a lot of delays with the ETAR build for the Alps ETAR build. Tom, who's my keyboard, Tom at Hype Keyboards, who's my keyboard, my plate supplier, he's been waiting on stock because that's a really big plate. So he finally got the stock in, and he's making this. He actually made the plates this weekend, and he's going to mail them out tomorrow. So I have an order of like 10 frickin' plates I've been waiting on from Tom, which includes both ETAR plates. I'm Alps plates I'm having made. So once we're going to do a build, once I get those plates in on hand, I'll work with the Bloody Eyes to do a sponsored Alps build stream of the ETAR, and we're going to be building it with brown Alps, which is going to be super, super cool. So we're going to do a brown Alps build with the ETAR 87, which is going to be just amazing. So I'm really excited for that particular board, and when we get it in, it's going to be such an awesome build, and it's going to look amazing. So that's going to be a really, really fun Alps build when we eventually get it in. So that's going to be awesome. So, but yeah, so we got these kind of held in. But yeah, what's cool about this board, again, we have an ISO layout. It's an 1800, so there's no, the home cluster is kind of removed. We have our arrow keys kind of condensed in here. We have this double F row. So this was a terminal keyboard, which is really cool. So, all right, we're going to start putting in all of our switches. So kind of have everything kind of held in place. One thing too what's cool about these old boards is I just love how these PCBs look. This PCB was really, really messed up and really disgusting. I tested it. Everything is good. I didn't kill the PCB when I was restoring it. Yeah, so yeah, Blue Cubes, this is a really excited one. And again, it's weird. Like, I can't find another one of these boards. And like, it was really hard finding information on this particular keyboard. I can't find anything. Like, I cannot find another one of these. So, because I don't see a lot of 1800s in the Alps space. So, like, this is a really cool keyboard. I'm really happy, Blue Keeps, you kind of put me onto it. And again, Sandman, who was kind of tuned in. Sandman, thank you so much for, like, selling me this keyboard. This is a really cool board, and I can't wait to have it properly restored. Because like I said, I'm personally not an 1800 guy. Like, I had a couple 1800s on my Cherry Mex collection when I got into the hobby, but I sold them because I prefer full size. So, like, but this is just so different. I could not save this board, which is so cool. So, and also Blue Cubes, I plan on keeping this board for a while, but if I ever sell it, I think you'd probably be the first one I would hit up for this board, dude. So, but yeah, so this board came with Pine White Alps. So the most sought after Alps are going to be Blue Alps. Like, these are just like, everyone loves Blue Alps. Like, they're absolutely amazing. Let me just kind of unplug the cable, and I'll just kind of press Blue Alps. Like, Blue Alps are the most sought after, but the problem with Blue Alps, they're expensive. Like, if you, like, a good set of Blue Alps, like, Blue Alps could run you $2, $3, $4 a switch. So, like, they're expensive. So, like, what I tell people, if you want to get into Alps and you want clicky, Pine Whites are great. They're way more readily available, and you can, you can get a set of Pine Whites for a fraction of the cost of Blue Alps. Now, Pine Whites will get you like 80 to 90% of the way of sound and feel of Blue Alps, which I think for most people that's going to be sufficient. I'll be completely honest, my personal all-time favorite are going to be Blue Alps. I love Blue Alps, but my wallet does not like the cost of Blue Alps. That's the only thing with Blue Alps. It's just kind of the downside with them. They're just ridiculously expensive. So that's why, like, Pine Whites are great, and that's why, like, I got a metric crap load of Pine Whites recently, just to kind of stock up on this Switch, because they're so good. And again, like, two of my Omni keys are built with Pine Whites. This is built with Pine Whites, and the FK2001 we're going to do this week also will have Pine Whites. And then the client restoration we're doing this week also will have Pine White. So it's a very good, very versatile Switch. I think for the money, I think Pine Whites are like your best bang for the buck type of Switch. So that's something that's really cool. Let me just see something. Just my UPS guy dropping something off. It's all good. So, yeah, so it's going to be really, really cool. Yeah, it's not common at all. So that's why when I got this board in hand, I'm like, this is worth saving. This is absolutely worth saving. So this is a really cool board. So like I said, it's just so different. I'm not going to retro. I'll be completely honest. I'm normally against retro brighting, but I think this may be a fun project for retro brighting the case, at least because the keycaps are in really good condition. So who knows? We may retro bright this. I'll kind of let y'all know on social media if I end up doing that. But this is a really cool board. I'm really excited to get this one doing. And also the double F row is just so cool. So I love the double F row. So we got our number pad going. Come on. But yeah, this one came out really nice, and these Pine Whites are going to sound so good in this thing, because these Pine Whites were really disgusting when we got them. So it's nice having them all kind of cleaned up. Like they're really scratchy and really gross. So having them back to their former glory is going to be really nice. So we're just getting everything kind of seated. And now we're going to start doing our double F row here. So, but this is a really cool board, and it's going to be fun using this board as well. Yeah, I think it's weird too, because like my first Alps build, I went straight to blue Alps. I went straight to the top. So like my first Alps build, like it was a modern build in my Geon F18X. Like I went top dog for a modern, like the best keyboard to turn into Alps, and I went for the best switch. So that was not a cheap build. Like my Geon F18X of my modern Alps builds is probably my most expensive. Like that is a very expensive keyboard, but it's a cool board. It's super cool, and I love it. But yeah, it's kind of nice to have two examples of a Blue Alps build. I have a vintage Blue Alps build in my 102 right here, and then I have a modern Blue Alps build. So it's kind of cool. So when I go to meets, it'll be kind of nice for people to try Blue Alps on an original vintage board from back in the day, and also a modern day keyboard. So, and the jury's out. It's kind of up to you if you like Blue Alps in a vintage board or in a modern board. But yeah, Pine Whites are super good. I probably have the most builds at this point now with Pine White Alps. Like my modern builds, my TGR Tomo has Pine Whites, my JO2 has Pine Whites, and then I have Bamboo Whites in my Hex 3CV2, which is cool. So yeah, and then of course 2 Omni keys, this board, and the FK2001. So yeah, a lot of Pine Whites on hand. So that's a really good switch. So, and I also have Amber Alps. I don't currently have I have like 200 Amber Alps. Yeah, I mean, Sandman. And I'm based in Los Angeles. Are you guys based in LA? I mean, if you're based in LA, like, I would totally take you up on that. Because why not? Yeah, but Sandman, I'm definitely seriously considering that Battleship you were texting me about, because that thing looks sick, and I do want to get it. I do want to get into like the older IBM stuff, like the buckling spring and whatnot, Model M, Model F. So, oh, Carson City, nice. That's actually not bad. I have a buddy who lives up in Carson City, so. Who knows? Maybe next time I'm up there, I would definitely hit you guys up. Yeah, so it's a fun time. But yeah, like I said, like I've been hitting up like Goodwills and thrift stores too to see what like local stuff, because like most Goodwills or thrift stores, this is e-waste to them. So usually I like the client restoration I'm doing. The guy got it for $1 at Goodwill, and I'm like, you got a Pine White Alps board for $1. I'm like, I hate you. That's like a freaking steal. Where is it? I have the case of it. I can kind of show y'all. Where's the case? Here it is. So yeah, this one right here, this is the client build we're doing. It's a Zeos full size, so it's wing keyless, which is really nice. And we kind of have the black. So we cleaned up the board. It wasn't that yellow, believe it or not. So it has double shot keycaps with their Co-Star stabs, and they came with Pine White Alps. So we cleaned up everything. So we're gonna be building this one on stream later this week for the client, and then we'll get that shipped out to them. So that was really cool. So I have no idea. I have nothing about Zeos. I have no idea. I just know Alps sold switches to a ton of keyboard makers, like kind of like what Cherry does. So I've never heard of Zeos. Yeah. So I don't know. The guy got lucky. He paid $1 at Goodwill, and it came with Pine Whites. So it's cool. So like the guy came up to me he knew I was going to be at the UC Irvine keyboard meetup a couple weeks ago. And he came over to my booth and kind of my display area, and he had the keyboard with him. He said, "Hey, can you like restore this for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, here's my commission fee." So he said, "Yeah, let's do it." So I just told him it might take a few weeks, just because I've been doing a ton of restorations for my personal collection and other builds and whatnot. So I told him probably mid-November or something like that. I told him it would be realistically when we would get it in. So it's a really, really cool. Oh yeah, a freaking $1 he got that stinking board for. So I'm very jealous, because that's a pretty freaking steal. And he got out a set of Pine Whites for $1. It was pretty great. So, and again, we fully restored them. I stored 700 Pine Whites a couple of weeks ago, my fingers hurt after doing that. That was a lot of cleaning up all these Pine Whites was a lot of work, but it was worth it because they're not scratchy anymore. Like these Pine Whites actually sound and feel good again. So because Blue Keys, I definitely know what you mean when you say you do the scratchiness. When I got that FK2001 from you, those Pine Whites were scratchy. So now that they're all cleaned up and whatnot and restored, they sound and feel pretty good. So we'll probably do the FK2001 tomorrow, and then we have a really cool Topre build we're gonna do this week too. So, and then hopefully the ETAR gets done this week. So When we get the plates in from Tom at Height, that'll open up a bunch of really cool builds. I also have a Hippo TKL that we're going to convert to Alps. Careless dropped to. I knew Careless was making a PCB for the Hippo TKL. He just didn't. He just dropped it out of nowhere last week, and I'm like, curse you, Careless. I wasn't expecting to buy a PCB, but here we are. So yeah, my Hippo TKL 2 is another project we're going to get converted to Alps. Tom is actually making that order of plates I'm getting from Tom at Hype includes my Hippo TKL plate, which is going to be awesome. So we're going to get really good. We're going to have a ton of cool stuff. And also with that plate order, we're going to have an Alps build that's going to be part of a sponsor, be part of a giveaway that we're going to be working on. So we will be eventually giving away. Yeah, the Hippo is it's the giant TKL. It has those giant freaking bezels. I have it. It's just up in my keyboard display shelf. I really don't want to get it down. And also it's freaking heavy. So I can't wait to convert it to get it converted to Alps. I'm putting SKCL cream switches in that board. So I know the build that Careless was showcasing had SKCM undampened creams. I'm putting SKCL creams in mine, which will be really cool. So sweet. We got all of our switches in, which is awesome. Let's just put these ones to the side. There we go. Yeah, I also just kind of show you my stockpile of pine whites. We have many, many more for the other builds that are upcoming. So we got a ton of pine whites. So there we go, folks. We got all of our switches in. We got our clips in. So, and this plate again did come out really, really nice, but it has a nice little hefty weight to it. So that looks really cool. So let's get this board flipped over and let's start soldering in these switches. And then once we get those in, we'll start testing switches, and then we're gonna start working on our we'll start working on testing switches. So let's get this one going. So this should be a pretty quick stream, folks. Shouldn't be on here too long. I just wanted to get this board done because this is one I'm just really, really excited to kind of start playing around with. So it's just so different. All right, cool. Awesome. So let's start doing our number pad area first. Cool. Just want to see if we can get them all pushed down. Cool. But yeah, this is a good one. Hello stream. What's up, Welvin? Yeah, we're doing an 1800 Alps board today. So this is an Alps board I got in a few weeks ago, and it was just so I was going to harvest it and just to kind of destroy it. And when I saw it, I'm like, this has to be saved because this is such a cool board. So yeah, this is good. This is a really cool little board. And this is probably going to be my only 1800 in my collection. I'm not an 1800 guy normally. I prefer full size when you're getting into these really, really big boards. But this was just so different and so cool. Like, I had to save it. So yeah. So yeah, this is a cool one. But we got a lot of exciting builds coming up. So kind of light the past like 2 or 3 weeks of streams. But now that we have a bunch of cool projects kind of in the queue now, it's going to be a lot of cool content we have coming up and kind of showcasing some builds. We did the Omni keys. We did my 3 Omni keys, and we have another Omni key that's coming tomorrow, which is going to be really sick. So it'll be nice getting another Omni key restored. But it's going to be a while before we actually build it on stream because I'm going to have to tear that board down completely and then restore all the parts and the components and refinish the plate. But like overall, that's going to be a really sick build once we get it in. So we're doing our number pad right now. And then once we get the switches soldered in, we'll start testing everything. I did test the PCB before, after I restored it, and it was all good. Oh, I have a pin, one I didn't put in all the way. So we're just getting this one in. This is a really cool board. So Vintage Boards eBay. I'll shout out to Blue Keeps and Careless' server. Blue Keeps is like, I don't know what you do, Blue Keeps, but a lot of these postings have been from Blue Keeps, actually. So Blue Keeps is great on just like finding amazing deals on eBay or online, and I just snipe them up. If it's a good deal, I'll snipe it up. So it's been really cool. Blue Keeps is like a really good. I mean, shout out to you, Blue Keeps. You're a really solid dude, and he's helped me really get some really cool projects and kind of source, and also kind of help me figure out what I need to look for certain boards I was trying to get. So like my Apple II GS, like Blue Cubes really helps me look for. I was looking for the Apple II GS that had orange Alps, and that one had specific markings on its back label. So he kind of told me what to look for, and that was how I was able to track that board down. This board came from the lot. This came from Sandman, but Blue Cubes is the one who kind of turned me on to this lot of keyboards that Sandman was selling. So I got this 1800 with the 2 other keyboards from Sandman, which was really cool, and I was really happy to get this board. So the other 2 boards, I harvested those. That one was mainly that was really cool. Yeah. Oh, that's super cool. Like this, this board is just super cool. Like I think it's a really cool one. Let me just, sorry, my Ring doorbell was, nope, not one. So this is just a really cool board in general. Getting it to work. So I'm really excited to get this one going. And again, I've seen pictures on Reddit. Some people who were in the vintage computing subreddit kind of gave me more information about this keyboard. So this was like for a really cool terminal keyboard computer back in the day. So, but they basically said it's not particularly a rare keyboard or anything special, but I think it's cool for me because like I haven't seen another one. So that's what's just kind of cool about this board. I've not seen another one. There's a switch I didn't push down all the way. There we go. Making sure all the pins are good. So, but yeah, it's a really cool little board. I'm really excited to have it. I'm just gonna get more solder lead going. Yeah, I know some of the Zeos boards. I was looking into Zeos. It's a cool brand. I mean, they used a bunch of different switches in their boards. So that's something that's really kind of cool. So I'm going to go on this side and do these switches over here, and then we'll start working our way around. So yeah, this is a really cool board. So this is my Portable PC2. Cool. Let's go over here and get these ones. Yeah, this particular keyboard was a lot of work. It was really disgusting, and there was a lot of really nasty residue and grime on the PCB. So, like cleaning this PCB and like not destroying it was a fun experience. So this board was a lot of work. Even though it's probably my smallest of my vintage Alps boards, this one was a lot of work. So, yeah, this is a really cool board. So I'm really excited for this one, and to really see it come together. Because like overall, this is just such a sick board. Alright, let's get this one going. Got it. Oh, and then this one. Cool. We'll do that bottom space bar row. Cool. Alright, let's move on over here. Let's get that good old space bar soldered in. Awesome. Got our space bar going. Hold up. Good times. Alright, let's do this bottom row, and then we'll kind of work our way down over here. I just like working my way around the board. Kind of do my alpha cluster last. So, yeah, this is going to be a really sick board. So, really excited to get this one going. Nice. Just kind of pushing them in. Good times. Looking good. Alright, last one in the bottom row. Awesome. Let's kind of go over here. Just want to solder in this top corner right here. Cool. Good times. Awesome. Got that side. Let's move our way, work our way up on this side, and we'll get going. So, really cool board. All right. Good times. Come up to our ISO enter, which is nice. Awesome. Coming along. Awesome, folks. Got our backspace up here we're doing. We'll move on. We'll just start working on our double F row here. Cool. Alright. Got our number pad, our kind of our side ones. We're going to start doing the double F row. And then I think we should be good to do our main alpha cluster. So nice. Looking good, folks. Nice. All right, let's do this portion right here. Looking good right there. Perfect. All right, let's keep moving on down for our double F row, folks. This is a super sick board. I cannot wait to start using this one. coming along. Good. All right, let's get these ones going. Let's get these outer ones first. All right, looking good. Cool. Coming along, folks. Cool. Almost done with the double FRO, and then we're just doing our main alpha cluster, and then we should be done soldering. So, really good board. Looking good. Alright, got our double FRO done. So that's pretty good. I just want to take a look at my solder joints so far. Make sure we're looking good. But yeah, that's coming out pretty good. Alright. Yeah, that looks really good so far. So look at that. Those solder joints are looking good. Just gotta do our main cluster and then we'll be pretty good. So that's coming out really nice. So switches look really good. So awesome. Awesome. Looking good. Awesome. All right, let's get that going. Home stretch, everybody. So we're just doing our last center column. That one didn't come out the way I wanted. I know. Yeah, these are really cool. These are good boards. So I'm just kind of finishing the alpha cluster. We're doing our number row right now, and then we'll do our alphas. Cool. Looking good. 3 more rows, folks. Looking good. Yeah, we are inching there, everybody. Okay, almost done with this row, and then we got 2 more rows we got to do. So we are coming along. Okay, so a grailed board for vintage Alps, honestly, like, I honestly have one of my grail boards, which is my Singa Kohaku. Like in terms of MX, like in terms of Alps, to be completely honest, my blue I think the grail board I have is right here. My OmniKey Black Label. Like, I don't know, like for me, like the vintage stuff, really all I really want to go after are the OmniKeys and the Alps Apple stuff. Other than that, once I get those, I'll probably start tapping out and just kind of focus and stop adding to my personal collection and start just doing like restorations or harvesting parts for people. But like, I just want to collect the OmniKey models and then all of the vintage Apple stuff. So once I get those, I think I'm pretty good. But like Alps, there's just so friggin' many. There are some really cool boards, but those are the ones that kind of intrigue me. So like, I think my 102 is probably my favorite, and now one of my grails. But who knows? That may change. But right now, I think I'm happy with the vintage stuff I have. All right, let's get that one going. Yeah, we're getting there, folks. Oops, that's not good. Yeah, so if you want a vintage board, I would recommend going after like an Northgate OmniKey. They're gonna run you anywhere between like, I'd say like $80 to on the top end like $200. Don't spend more than $200 on an OmniKey. Like there's some OmniKey listings that people are asking like $300-400 for OmniKeys, and those people are insane. Don't pay that. Like the most I would pay for an OmniKey is like $180 after like tax and shipping, realistically. But they're really good boards, and if you're patient and you know what you're looking for, they're amazing boards. And like I said, I'm talking with a client right now who wants to do he wants a vintage keyboard, in a Northgate OmniKey 101 with brown Alps. And I told him, like, that's going to be expensive. And he said, yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm like, all right, cool. So, yeah, so that's when we're kind of working on. I told him, like, if the market's kind of dry right now for OmniKey 101s, one I was watching just sold for like $150, and I would have bought that. Oh yeah, no, those are ridiculous. You should not be paying that. Like sub $200 for a Northgate OmniKey. Like realistically, like I paid $60. The one that's coming in tomorrow, I paid $60 for. So yeah. But yeah, if you get an Northgate OmniKey and you want someone to restore it, let me know. I'd be happy to do it. So yeah, because the one thing with Northgate OmniKeys you got to be careful with, though, is the mounting plates are made out of steel, but they didn't coat the plates. So all the 3 OmniKeys that I've gotten, the plates were ridiculously rusted. So I had to like sand them down and refinish and recoat them. But that was a pretty easy. It's mostly surface rust, but that's just something with the OmniKeys you got to be mindful of. Is the plates are pretty disgusting. The plates are pretty bad because again, there's nothing protecting them. So those things were exposed to 30 years of rust and water damage and God knows what else people did to them. Yeah, but the OmniKeys are like literal tanks. They're freaking awesome. I love them. So last row, everybody. We're down to like our last like 8 switches we got to solder. And then we'll test. And if there's any ones we got to desolder, we'll get the desolder gun out and swap switches. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So we're on our last row, everybody. But yeah, Northgate OmniKeys are what I would recommend. Or like Apple boards. Like an Apple extended keyboard are really good vintage boards. Like you can find a... Oh yeah, most Alps boards are very well made. Yeah, most of the and that's the thing that's kind of crazy too. Even with like the Apple ones, like even the cheap crap Apple board, like Alps boards, are like very very well made, and like better than like a lot of the keyboards you would buy like today, which is kind of crazy. So like they're very good quality. I mean, and the thing that's just mind-blowing about these old Alps keyboards is, like, these were the keyboards that came with, like, the factory computer you would buy at, like, through, like, mail order or, like, at an electronics store. Like, if I were to go into Best Buy today or go into, like, the Apple store, the keyboard I would get with the computer just factory from them is just garbage. So, like, these are, like Northgate OmniKeys, like, these were the keyboards that came with the computers you purchased. And, like, that's just kind of crazy, the quality that you were getting. Like same thing with Apple. Like I'm not a Mac guy in any sense of the word. I prefer Windows things for like my personal computers. But like vintage Apple stuff is amazing. Like the old like Apple Macintoshes and like especially their Alps keyboards, like the Apple Extended 1, the Apple Extended 2, like the 2GS, like the M110, the M0110 is just amazing. Yeah, the Apple keycaps are really really good. And AEKs you can get for like less than $50. If you're smart on eBay, you can get one. You can get them for insanely cheap. You can get one for I got one for like $30 a couple weeks ago. So like you can get the AEK now. The AEKs where they do kind of get expensive is if you want certain switches. So if you want like Orange Alps or Salmon Alps, like those are going to be a little more costly. But if you just want like just an AEK with Alps, like you can get an Ivory AEK like extended keyboard 2 for like $30. Like and the caps are really good. They're dye sublimed PVT, so they're very very good quality keycaps. Like once I'm soldering, I'll pull down my AEK and I'll show you the keycaps. Like they're really good quality, which is really cool. So like I have a metric crap load, and they also make fun 60% modern Alps boards, which are really cool. So yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, and then Seal, I have speaking of Apple, I want to tell you about the ETAR project too. There's really some really cool stuff with that one. I got one more switch we got to solder. All right. Cool, we got that one. All right. Hopefully we're done soldering. Hopefully I don't jinx it. But yeah, I'll pull up my AEK. It's literally up here on my shelf. So the AEK is up here. But like, yeah, this is my AEK fully restored. I didn't restore the yellow plastic, but like. The keycaps aren't yellowed because they're made of PBT. Space bars are made out of ABS as well as the case, but this has Orange Alps, and these are awesome. Like you can if you're smart and you know what you're looking for, you can get an Orange Alps AEK for like less than $50. Like don't look like the eBay listings that say like the AEK has orange Alps. They're gonna charge you over $100, and those aren't worth it. Like you should realistically paying like $50 or less for one of these, and then they clean up pretty good. Like this one cleaned up really good. It has a low serial number, which is really cool. It's below 400,000. So this is a really, really cool keyboard, and I love it. It's very good quality. It's built like a tank. Very thick ABS plastic steel mounting plate, and this thing is fully restored and it works perfectly. So yeah, it's a really good one. So yeah, I have like 3 vintage Apple boards. So yeah, there we go. So we're done here. So let's flip this puppy over, and yeah, there we go. There's our keycaps, everybody. So yeah, this thing is looking really good. This came out really nice, and oh, this is gonna sound so good. Yeah, these are a lot smoother and less scratchy now, so they're really good. So what you're going to look for is serial numbers. So if you're looking at AEK 1s, so that's M0115, you want to look for low serial numbers. So if it's below 500,000 or 600,000, you're going to have orange Alps. If you're looking at serial numbers that are above like 700,000, you're probably going to get salmons. Like another really cool Apple board you can get that's really nice are these. You can get an M0116. So this is like a 60. This has a really, really funky layout. But these came with orange and salmon Alps, which are cool. So they have the 60% cluster right here, and we have your number pad. But for these ones, if you want orange Alps, you're going to look for low serial numbers. So like below 700,000 is you're probably going to get orange Alps. If you want to look for like north of like 800,000, like a million in the serial numbers with these to get salmon Alps. And you can get these for like $50 or less. This is I got this one actually in a lot of like 4 of these M0116s, and I just harvested them, and I saw this one, and it was so beautiful. Like I had to clean this, had to be restored. So this one's really, really cool. So that's like one of my Apple boards that's really nice. And another one that's really cool, I don't have an Apple Extended Keyboard 2 yet. I've just been working on sourcing one that I like. This is an Apple 2 GS. This is another like 60% plus a numpad, but this one's really weird because the keycaps are really weird. They have these like really flat, rounded keycaps. And this is actually the first keyboard that they did that used SKCM switches, which is really cool. So this actually predates the AEK. So this is a really cool board. This one's also fully restored. And this one's really cool. This has orange Alps. But yeah, the main thing with Apple, the old vintage Alps boards, you got to look at the serial number. So you got to look at the back. So what you're looking for is you're looking at the back labels. That's really what you're going to look for. Again, Seal Llama, Blue Keebs is who's in my chat. Shoot him a message on Discord or shoot him a message in Careless server. He's like the guru on finding what's what. So like he's kind of my go-to guy when it comes to finding vintage Apple stuff. So and just vintage stuff in general. So let's get the cable out. Let's plug this in and let's start testing. So let me get my cable and everything, and then we'll get going. So let me unplug my 102. Let's get my adapter. So we're just using an AT adapter. So the way this works is this uses an AT plug, and then it plugs into a AT to PS2 converter, and then I have it plugged into a PS2 to USB converter. So I can get both. You can get both those converters on Amazon for like I think $15 shipped. So yeah, Blue Keebs is dope. Really, probably one of my favorite. Next to like Careless, like Blue Keebs, you're probably one of my favorite people on Discord in the vintage space. A really good guy. So and that's the one thing too I've really been happy for. Like a lot of the people, especially like the vintage space, have been really awesome. Like Careless's server, the vintage channel over on like Keebs and Cables. Some of the people over on Black Simon's server, like really good people. Yeah, Blue Keeb's just like an encyclopedia. You're awesome, dude. So, all right. So I'm going to get VIA open. I'm going to pop open VIA, and we're going to just start going into the switch tester and start testing switches. So if there's any switches that are faulty or not registering correctly, we'll try and adjust the switch plates. And if the switch plates are still giving us issues, then we'll go into, we'll desolder and swap switch plates. But these were in, okay, that's weird. I'm getting a, oh, let's turn off the sounds. I don't need that. That's really weird. Why is my F2 registering? Huh. Well, figure that out. Cool. All right. Caps lock works perfectly. Shift is working. Six. 8, 9. Cool. All right, that's good. Yep. Print screen. Sorry, that was a VI. The VI, the sound noises turned on. Sorry about that. Pause works. Scroll. Another print screen. Okay, cool. Cool, that's all working. My scroll lock is on. Oops. Give me a minute. Scroll lock works. Oh, darn, my num lock doesn't work. Dang. Oh, there we go. Num lock works. We're good. All right. Making sure we're all good. Yeah, this is a really interesting and very different board. Okay, 8's being weird. Okay. Yeah, this is a very unusual board. Okay, my right alt's being weird. Spacebar. Yeah, there's some really weird things happening in terms of registering. Good times. All right, I'll figure it out. Yeah, this is a very interesting board. And it works. And it works. Yeah, overall, I think we're looking good on switches, which is really nice. There's a few switches we're going to probably play around with, but I think our main cluster is working just fine. Cool. Yeah, so far so good on this one. Huh. That's really weird. I don't know why that's doing that. Traces are fine. All right, I'm going to try something. All right, I'm going to unplug it because that's weird. So one thing I'm noticing, I'm getting switches. When I press certain switches, another switch is activating in the key tester. That's really unusual. Let me see. Let me try this again. There we go. Plug her back in. Let's try this again. All right. I'm going to reset and try this because that's really weird. Yeah, like when I press escape, F2 is activating. That's really weird. Or when I press tilde, F4 is activating. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, when I press tab, F6 is activating. Caps lock is fine. Shift is weird. When I press left control, both left alt. That's really weird. Okay, that's really weird. Okay. I'm gonna unplug this. There's switches that aren't registering correctly, so we're just gonna see what's up. So there we go. Good times, everybody. So we're gonna do the old. Oh yeah, the ground wire. Okay, cool. Oh, might have to just ground it to the plate. Okay. Yeah, I might just ground it to the plate. All right, let me do that. Let me just ground that in. Oh yeah. Thank you, sir. All right, let me look at my bag of parts for this board. Where the heck is it? All right, let me get my bag of parts. Where'd you go? All right, let me see. Yeah, let me get my ground wire, and let's ground that. All right, cool. Here's our screws. Let's get that going. Let's ground this. Yeah. Let's do that ground wire. Let's see that point. So let's see. Yeah, that might be it. So yeah, but they're not registering correctly. So I'm activating two switches at once, which is not good. So let's get this. Let's get that grounded first, and then we'll go from there. Oh, that's not my ground. Okay, where the heck does it go? Where the heck does my ground screw into? It screws into something here. Where the heck is it? It's not that one. Let me look at the case. It screws into something. I just don't know what exactly. Ah. Okay, I gotta put it in the case. Give me a second. All right, I guess we're gonna have it in the case while we're doing testing right now, so. Give me a second. I'm just trying. There we go. Got it. All right. Okay, let's get that in, and then our ground is going to go right there. So let me get my, where'd my little screw go? Bro. I don't know. I'm losing track of everything. It's all good. Cool. All right, I guess we're just going to screw it in and kind of go from there. There it is. So, yeah, fun times, everybody. Move my thing over. All right. Let's just put our ground in. Okay, I need a different screw for this one. It's all good. All right. Let me get a bigger screwdriver for this one. Okay, got it grounded. Let's try that again. Let me put this switch back in, and we're just gonna kind of go from there. So we kind of we're gonna do this live on stream because you can see my struggles and whatnot. So it's partially screwed into the case. Let's just get this one in here. All right, cool. All right, let's plug this one in. We'll just kind of hold it down. Yeah, we do have a bottom mounting system for this board, which is kind of cool. So, all right, let's try this again. All right, let me close VIA and let's come back into it, and then we'll try it again. All right, got my VIA open. Let's try this. Huh. Hold up. Hold up.
Call Mommy. She was trying to call you.
Okay. Give me a second. Give me a second, folks. Gotta take care of some business. Alright, give me a second. Yeah, so, yeah, we're still having some switches register weirdly. So that's, so. That's really weird, man. Huh. Well. That one's not also registering. So, yeah, I guess it's just going to be one of those things where we're just going to have to kind of live with it. And that may just be one of the quirks I live with this board. Because, like, other switches are fine. It's just a couple switches over here that are activating weirdly. Let me go into a typing thing. That's just the key tester. Let me just do typing. Let me open up like a window or something. Let me try doing some typing. All right. Let me do this. Yeah, when buttons are working normally, it's just the switch tester they're being, and VIA's switch tester they're being weird. So I think we're good. So, yeah, so, all right, give me a second, folks. I gotta go take care of, my dog needs to get out. I'll be right back, folks. Give me like 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Hi, you guys said. edge join. So it's going to be edge join. So look, and then once she's in edge join, look for Downey Unified School District, and they should have their sub. Edgejoin.org. And then once she's there, type in Downey Unified School District, and she should see the substitute teacher posting. And then it'll have the instructions of what she needs to show, submit to them. All right. Love you, Mom. All right, friends. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you have a doggo you have to take care of. So I'm like, good times, everybody. So yeah, so we're good, folks. I'm gonna unscrew it from the bottom mount and everything. So I'm gonna unplug the board. We're good. So it's just Via's being weird with this board. So I guess this board, I was testing it in monkey type and everything works fine. Oh, thanks, my man. I use Via, so that's probably gonna be. I'll probably use Blue Keeps. I'll probably use your switch tester. But yeah, that's pretty good. So. Awesome. Yeah, so let's pull this board out of its case now, and then we'll start using Blue Keeps' switch tester. So let's pull this puppy out. There we go. It's a really cool board. I love this thing. This thing is so cool. But yeah, there are some switches, though, that are being a little bit funky and weird. So we're going to take a look at those switches and go from there. So let's plug this puppy back in. So, because I do want to make sure everything is registering. So yeah, Blue Keeps, thanks, my man. So let's get back to it, folks. All right, let's go to this key tester. Ooh. Oh, this is 6, Blue Keeps. Thanks, man. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, that's working. That's working. Okay, my shift. I'm going to work on these two switches right here. These ones are being weird. So, all right. There we go. So this one is not registering. It's just the switch plate probably needs to be compressed, and my right shift isn't registering fully. So we're going to pull those ones out, and then we're going to get that one kind of adjusted, and we'll kind of go from there. So this is the kind of the troubleshooting part of Alps we kind of do. So we're working with 30-year-old switches. So that should, hopefully that should do it. So let's put this one back together and we'll move on to this other one. If that doesn't work, we'll desolder these two switches. But yeah, the switches look pretty good overall. So let's put that one in. Awesome. And then my right shift. Let's get that one out. So we just want to make sure all of our switches are looking good. Awesome. Let's compress these switch plates. My screws are something loose, so I just crush them, and that usually does it. So if that doesn't do it, then we'll desolder them. I mean, I have a metric crap load of white Alps, so we are good. Regardless, we will get her working. Awesome. So let's plug those in. Let's see if those are working. Let's get that switch tester open again. Okay, that's working. That's working. Good times. Good. Looking good so far. We're just kind of testing everything. Pretty much, yeah. So I usually just crush it, and if that doesn't work, I can kind of show you my methodology for testing switches. But it's just, Alps are just very finicky, and the point of failure on Alps is going to be the switch plates. Everything else, there's nothing that really can break on them. So that's looking good. Okay, number 8 isn't registering, so we're going to fix that one next. All right, number 8, let's unplug it. So 8 right here. It's being weird. Yeah, so I'll kind of show you. So you take off the top. There's one thing that's cool about Alps. You can work on them while they are soldered into the board, which is really nice. So that's a really cool part of their design. And what I normally do is it's the switch plates. The switch plates, right, this little part right here. What I do is I just take a pair of pliers, and then I just kind of get it over the switch plate, and I just kind of gently crush, just kind of squeeze. And that should kind of press everything together to make proper contact. And if that doesn't work, I just then desolder the switch and then swap out the switch plate. So there we go. Let's get this one in. Perfect. Let's plug her in. Let's see if that worked. And that one's working. It's perfect. And then let's check our cluster up here. I want to get the image. I got a picture of this one. I got to look up a picture of this board because I want to get the layout. So give me a second, folks. Where is the image of this one? Because I want to get the exact layout we're working with. Where are you, pictures? I've had this board for a little bit, so. Okay, got it after. Let me see before. Okay, I'm going too far back. Sorry, I got to find this particular image of this board. Because I want to see how the double F row is laid out, because I'm going to need that when I put this thing back together. So give me a second, folks. I'm genuinely trying to find the picture of this board. Here we go. We're getting close. Here we go. All right, here's my picture of it. So how is this laid out? So F1, F2, F3, F4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. That's my scroll lock right there. That's pause. That's another print screen. And then insert, home, page up, page down, end, and delete. Okay, cool. All right, everything is registering correctly. All right, cool. Yeah, if you were to go to like platelist, you could probably do it, Blue Cubes. All right, I want to just do a couple more testing on the switches. I think we're good with our switches so far, which is really nice. So I just want to do a couple other tests on here, and then I think we'll be good. So yeah, if you were like to, I think plateless mount on Cherry, you could probably take apart the switches while they're soldered in. Cool. Scroll lock works, num lock works, caps lock works. All my lights work, so that's good. These are both print screen ones. I really don't want to press those. All right, let's go to I think we're gonna be good, and we'll start doing stabs. Awesome. Cool. Oh my god, I picked up a mistake I did, guys, when I restored this. This one's linear. Notice there's no click on this one. I didn't put a click leaf in this one. That's a linear Alp. That has no click leaf. So let me get a click leaf for the switch. Yeah, there's no click leaf in this one. Oops, that's not fun. There are my click leaves. It's okay. It's why you have a metric crapload of them. All right, let's put a click leaf in that switch and make it proper as God intended. So there we go. Yeah, switches all work, folks, so we're good. So let me just put this last switch together, and then we'll get ready to start lubricating switches, which is going to be really nice. So, I mean, sorry, not lubing switches, lubing the stabs. Cool. All right, let's take this cable off. Put that to the side. Put my AT adapter. There we go, friends. All right, I think we're good. So I think we can turn off the soldering iron. The Spider's a really sick board. I almost joined that group buy, but I was in a bunch of other group buys. I got the Constants, which we're going to be building with Alps eventually once I get a plate made for it. So I have about 3 projects I'm waiting for nice. So it'll be really sick. So we're going to get that one. But yeah, I love the Spider's a dope build. It's so super, super dope board. I know they had a lot of delays with that project, so I'm glad people finally got their boards. So let's get our stabilizer parts out, and then we'll start going from there. So let's get our stab parts out, and also let's get our keycaps out as well. So, you know, we got our keycaps. Let's just kind of, so much crap behind me. Yeah, there's like a mountain of parts behind me, everybody. So I'm just getting my stabilized keycaps out, and then we'll go from there. Cool. All right, we got some stabilized parts. So let's start working on it. Yeah, I love my Constants. It's a super, super sick board. I'm waiting on Careless to make me a plate for it. Careless is just kind of busy, and whenever he gets to making me a plate for it, because I think I need a plate for my Seal and my Constants. So those boards are just kind of sitting, looking pretty unbuilt in my keyboard display. Once Careless has the time to make the plate files, then those boards will get built and they'll get the plates made. But for right now, I'm not in a rush. I have plenty of Alps boards to keep me occupied, so I'm not in a rush to build those boards. So they'll get built when they get built. So, but yeah. So yeah, the Constants is sick. We waited a long time for that board. We waited almost a year for that board. So there were a lot of delays on that project. I'm so happy I did it because it is a gorgeous, gorgeous board. So let's make sure that one goes in and enter will go right here. Yeah. Just making sure I put these little stabilizer clips on the bottom of the keycaps correctly. So cool. Got those on. Perfect. And then we want to make sure our space bar gets put on correctly. Okay, we got to do some modifications here. Oh, if a board supports Alps, like its solder PCIe supports Cherry and Alps, I'm gonna build it with Alps. That's just like what I prefer now at this point. Like don't get me wrong, I love Cherry. My Cherry stuff isn't going anywhere, and I love it. But like, I like the sound and I like the feel of Alps so much more than Cherry. And the thing that's kind of cool, I've kind of found an interesting niche because I feel like a part of the reason I've been pretty successful with my custom Alps commissions as of late, because I think a lot of people are the market with Cherry is just kind of boring right now, to be completely honest. So I think a lot of people are looking for something else to fill the niche. I think that's why like Dynacap is so exciting. That's why like people are getting into like some vintage stuff, because the Cherry stuff's just kind of gotten stale. I'm not saying there aren't bad projects, but everything basically is the same. And also Cherry's dominated the market for so long. And I think people have enough Cherry boards. And we've also had some high-profile group buys that have failed. They didn't meet MOQ, so the people who did join the group buy were refunded. So that's another thing too, is like the market is very much changing and going in a different direction. And I think people want something else. And I think that's why people are exploring Alps and exploring other types of Switch. Yeah, I again, don't get me wrong. I love Cherry. Cherry's cool. Like my Kohaku. Probably one of my favorite Cherry MX boards. Like, it's a dope board, but like, do I really need another, like Like the Kohaku also killed like 65% boards for me because like it's kind of like top dog. Yeah, the Vertex Angle 65 like failed, and also Cannon Keys was running the CK980 board, and that also didn't meet MOQ. So I mean, I'll give you my 2 cents on the Vertex project. I love Vertex. I love their stuff. Like I have the Seal. I have the S100. Great design studio. The Vertex 65 was too much for what they were at. Like it was too much money for what the board was. That was their problem. It was too expensive. And also it's the 65% market is so oversaturated. Like you just had the Manta, which the Manta was expensive, but the Manta was cool because it did something different. So like if you're going to make a 65%, which is there's too many 65s in the market to be completely honest. It has to be really different. Like if you're making a 65% right now in today's market, you either have to be ridiculously affordable, or it has to do something really different that other boards haven't done. And that's the problem with 65s I see is like, yeah, it's a great layout, but like how many 60, you can only have so many 65% before it gets kind of boring. Like I have some really cool 65s in my collection. I don't plan on adding any more 65%. Like I have the DNWorks 02, I have a Mix 65, I have a TGR 910, I have a Kohaku, I have a Boop, I have the Matrix Labs NOS, like I have a Matrix Labs Vita, I have the Test 65, like those are awesome 65%. So like I have like, and I don't want any more 65s. I also have the Class 65, the Class 65 V3 from MM Studio coming within the next few weeks. So like I'm done with 65%. Like I have an amazing collection of 65% boards. Like I have no desire to get any more. Now, if a company wanted to send me a 65% for review, like sure, I'll take it, and I would either send it back or give it away. For me to get another 65% board, it has to be really, really weird or do something really, really special. Like the Matrix Labs NOS. I'll be completely honest, I built it. It kind of sounds like crap, but I didn't buy it for the sound. I bought it because it looks cool. And the novelty of how it opens. Like, the Matrix Labs NOS is like, it's just so stupid and I love it. Like, let me grab the NOS. It's crazy. Like I have this board build with Gateron box ink yellows. Like, this thing is cool. Like, it's awesome, but it was really expensive. But this board honestly sounds like crap. I think this board sounds like crap. It feels good, just sounds like crap. But I bought it for this. It does that, and that's so cool. And it's stupid, and I love it. And when I take this to a keyboard show, this is how this board is going to be displayed. Like, that is crazy. Like, I didn't buy it because this keyboard is going to sound good. I bought it for the novelty of this. Oh yeah, this is my Cyberpunk build, Cyberpunk 2077. So this is the Indigo colorway on this board, and this is GMK Night Runner. So this is the Cyberpunk 2077 one. So yeah, Cherry Mix, it's hit or miss with boards. They either sound really good or they sound like crap, and that one sounds like crap. Like I said, I did not buy that board for sound. I bought it because you bought that board, the NOS, you bought it for the novelty of how it opens and it looks cool. Like, it's very much one of those novelty things. Like, it's a fun board and I like it and it lights up and it's kind of cool, but like, it's a novelty. Like, that's not a daily driver board for me. I bought it because it's cool. Was it a poor financial decision? Absolutely. But that's just most Matrix Labs boards. I mean, I love Matrix Labs. I have 4 Matrix Labs boards. They're all ridiculously expensive. Matrix Labs is just kind of one of those design studios. You either absolutely love their stuff or you hate their stuff. Do it. Once Careless gets the plate file made for the Seal, I can definitely send it your way and you can decide if you want to build it out. The Vertex guys, I've talked with the Vertex guys. They're running a TKL version of the Seal next year. That's going to be their next project, and it's going to support like a bajillion different switch types. It's going to support Topre, MX, Alps. It's going to support Space Invaders, Omrons. That's going to be a cool project. I want to get the Seal 80 for Space Invaders because I want to put Space Invaders in a modern keyboard, and that's going to be freaking awesome. And then their other project they're going to do probably in the second half of 2026 is the Separation TKL, it'll be an Alps board, but it's going to be, it'll natively support Apple extended keyboard keycaps, including the F-Row, which is going to be really cool. Because the one problem with Apple keycaps, they make great, if you want a modern keyboard with Macintosh keycaps, you have to do an F-Rowless full size like the ETAR, or you have to do a 60% because the F-Row is really weird. They use very tall stems and the switches are rotated 90 degrees like here on the number pad. So Apple keycaps, it's really hard to use the F-Row. So that's the kind of the whole purpose of that project. And I was talking with the Vertex guys. I'm most likely going to be getting a review unit for that particular board. They said this NC80, they're kind of they have enough creators, but they said it's the fact that like I mainly do Alps. They said they're probably going to send me a unit to like take a look at, promote, which will be really cool. So but they said they're in really early stages. They only have one prototype of the separation TKL. And they're still working out a lot of details on that board, so it'll probably be a while before that project's ready. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So we'll do our backspace next, and then we'll do our numpad, and then our ISO, and then our spacebar. So yeah, so there's a lot of cool projects coming out, but like for me, I'm slowing down on group buys. Like 2025, I went hog wild in group buys. At one point, I was in like a dozen very expensive group buys. Not the CL80. I talked with the Vertex guys, and they said they would like to, but they're limited on their things. And most of the people reviewing that board, like Alex Otis, are going to be doing Cherry MX with that board. So like they said the separation, since the purpose of that project is Alps, it'll also support Cherry MX, believe it or not. But the intention of the separation TKL is Alps. So they said they're working on details, but they said they're really interested in sending me a unit for that board when they're ready for like promotion and whatnot. So that would be really cool. So yeah, CL80, I am not, unfortunately. I'm probably going to join that group buy for this and get the Space Invaders model. But I'm just not going to get a review unit. I'll build it on stream and like tell people to go buy it. So I can send you a link, Seal, of that particular board. But the separation, essentially, what it's going to do is, where did my AK go? It's going to basically be it's going to be a TKL that is purpose built for these keycaps. The thing with AEKs, the bottom row is proprietary. It uses a 6.5U spacebar, and then 1.5U, and then 1.25U modifiers. But the issue with AEKs is the F row. The F row has very tall stems, and the switches are rotated 90 degrees. So I'll pull off one of the keycaps, and you'll kind of see where the issue is with these keycaps. So as you can see, the switches are rotated 90 degrees. So that's a problem, but also here's the other problem. The stems on these keycaps are ridiculously tall. So you really can't do modern builds with Apple keycaps except for 60%. Sorry about that. I'll show you what I normally do with client builds who want Apple keycaps. Like if you want to use Macintosh keycaps, my recommendation is a 60%, a wing keyless 60%, because you can utilize this one. You have to get a special plate made because the Apple bottom row is proprietary. It's not a 7U bottom row. But these Apple keycaps make great 60% boards. So these are really cool. So this is one of my really fun builds. So they're really cool. So but yeah, you just kind of have to know what you're getting into with the Macintosh stuff. But like I've done a ton of client commission 60% boards with Macintosh keycaps. I'm actually working on a unicorn right now that's going to be built with Macintosh keycaps, which is going to be awesome. So I have someone very special I'm working on a unicorn for, so which is going to be really cool. I don't want to say who it is just yet. But yeah, we're doing a unicorn. We're going to be doing a unicorn Alps build very soon, which is going to be awesome. And we're going to do Macintosh keycaps with it. So it's going to be super sick. So yeah, when I do that build, I'll let y'all know. So yeah, I've got a lot of really cool stuff coming up. So that we're going to do. Yeah, we're just getting these stabs lubed with 205G0. And then once we get these lubed up, then we'll start putting on our keycaps and doing final assembly, and then we'll be pretty much done with this one. So Unicorn takes a standard 60% PCB. You just have to get a longer JST to connect to the daughter board, because Unicorn has a very short JST connector. So, and Unicorns are kind of weird because there's different versions of the Unicorn and different, like R1, R2, R2.1. So the person I'm working on this Unicorn build for, they've been a big supporter of my of the work I do on here. So then they wanted to do an Alps build, and I told them, you've done so much for me, we're doing a build on the house for you. And he said, well, what do you, and I told him, what do you have? He said, well, I have a Unicorn I want to convert. I'm like, well, then we're doing a Unicorn build. So it's going to be really cool. So yeah, it's gummy O-ring. Also, Unicorns are cool. just do not pay 4 figures for a freaking unicorn. Like, the unicorn is a really cool keyboard. Don't get me wrong. But the people who spend like $1,200, $1,400, $1,500, $2,000+ on unicorns are crazy in my book. It's a tray mount 60% keyboard. There's nothing special. It's all hype. Like, I would get the 4 figures for like an original Jane or like OTD stuff. But a unicorn, that's just not worth it, man. Even with my Kohaku, like, I have a Kohaku. I did not pay $1,000 for my Kohaku. I paid MSRP. I got really lucky, and I got my Kohaku, my British Racing Green Kohaku, from the original buyer of the keyboard, and they just sold it to me at cost, which was really awesome. So, like, Singa stuff is cool. I own 2 Singa boards. I own a Neko and a Kohaku, and I'd love a unicorn, but I'm not paying unicorn prices, because the people who ask $2,000 for unicorns are on drugs in my mind. They're crazy. So, because the board's not worth that. Like, I know Black Simon's joke is it's a back and echo. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much what it is. The Jaguar is cool. Like, here's the thing with Singa stuff. Other than the unicorn and the Kohaku, Elaine's other boards are pretty reasonable. Like, the Neko you can get at an MSRP. You can get a Jaguar at MSRP. Like, you can get her other boards. It's just the unicorn and the Kohaku they were just so hyped up during COVID. Like, everyone wanted one. It was just this crazy FOMO that people had over those 2 boards. But like any other Singa board that Elaine has made, you can get at MSRP, aftermarket. It's just those 2 boards are just so stupid. Yeah, Sussy Back and Echo. That's what Black Simon says. So, but yeah, I love Black Simon. So, he's my favorite angry keyboard man on the internet. You take what he says, he's very set in his ways, but I do enjoy him. I take what he says with a grain of salt, and yeah, I just enjoy his content because he doesn't care, and he doesn't care who he pisses off, and that's just fun. That's what makes Black Simon fun. And sometimes he says things in The Hobbit that need to be said that other people don't want to say because they don't want to lose like a sponsorship or what have you. Where's my other wire? Am I missing a wire? Give me a second. I am missing one of my 2U wires. Oh, okay, well, that's why I have this. Give me a second. No, just delivery. It's all good. So, yeah, I'll pull out another 2U wire. We're going to finish up our space bar, and then we're going to get our number pad, and we'll get going. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, Black Simon. I think the thing with Black Simon, the one thing I do appreciate about him, again, I know you can either love or hate his opinions, but if there's something blatantly wrong with the project or there's like a shady business practice, he'll call it out. And he'll let people know. And that's one thing that's nice, because he's not like some of the other creators in the space who will offer constructive feedback, but they're not as blunt or like in your face as he is. Like, again, there's a ton of really great creators in the space, like, who do really good work. Like, one person I really love is like Alex Edos. Alex Edos, great creator. Alex will give constructive feedback in I say a more nicely packaged manner that's more that can be constructive. Like Alex Otis, like, for example, like, if there's a project that's bad, he'll tell people, like, don't buy this. This is a bad value. Like, so that's one thing. Like, so there are people like I feel like you have one end of the spectrum, which would be like someone like Black Simon, and another end of the spectrum would be like someone like Alex Odos or like Captain Sterling. So kind of to each their own. Like, just whatever type of content creator you like. Again, I've had the opportunity to review a couple boards. Again, I have a couple BP1 prototypes from Baron boards. I have an ETAR on hand. Thankfully, I was really grateful that Luke Barron sent out 2 prototypes, and the Bloody Ice is lending me a review unit for the ETAR to build Alps in, which is going to be really cool. So I've had really good opportunities, but also I also just did have like genuine pieces of feedback for the boards. Which is really cool. And again, the thing that's nice, like the Bloody Eyes, is like his project was pretty good to go. Like I didn't really have much negative feedback on the ETAR. That was a very, very good board and very complete project. By the time the prototype I got was not an early prototype. The Baron BP1, cool project. There is still stuff that needs to be done on that project to make it ready for final production. So, but yeah, overall, like there's a lot of I've been fortunate to have like stuff sent to me for review. Yeah, exactly. Again, if something's blatantly bad or bad value, Alex will basically say, like, please don't support this project. Your money will be better spent in other places. So, So that's just the kind of thing. So like Alex Odo, I just kind of use Alex Odos as kind of an example, like as the polar opposite of like someone in the space. Like there's other creators who do good work, like Alex. So, but yeah, so we're doing it's pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of really, I think, good people doing some good work within the hobby. And I think the hobby is in a good space. I think we've kind of lost the boom. It's definitely shrunk over the past couple of years. I think the people who kind of came in during COVID and during all the hype and said, "Oh, I'm gonna buy like a bunch of keyboards as like an investment or whatnot." Like I think those people have cashed out and left, and so I think there's less people in the hobby. But I think the people who are left are the people who genuinely are passionate about technology and like building this stuff and like and just interested in like the vintage side or what have you. But also the people who bought keyboards as like investments, those people are stupid. Keyboards are terrible investments. I'll tell you that. I mean, as someone who's very deep in this hobby, spent a lot of money in this hobby, these are terrible investments. If you want to invest your money, invest it in something way better. Like, because yeah, this is a terrible investment. You'd be better investing in crypto versus this stuff. So, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not legal advice. But yeah. All right. Perfect. So, yeah. Yeah, having those, I mean, again, I think the hobby's for everybody, but having those people who like really hyped up keyboards and whatnot, I think I think having less of those people around, I think, is a good thing. So we can kind of get back to basics and just enjoying the hobby and not having like this. I'm also of the opinion, don't ever spend, if you're buying keyboards in the aftermarket, don't ever spend over MSRP. Like, that's just stupid. Like, the people who ask well over MSRP for boards, I think, are just kind of crazy. There are exceptions, like OG South Korean stuff, or like original Janes. I get that. But like, but other than that, like, it's really just kind of, you don't spend over MSRP for boards. There's no need to. As long as you're patient. What? Screw me. I put the enter in the wrong spot and I put the plus right here. How did I do that? Look at that. Bro. God. I can't do anything right. Well, I don't know how I screwed that up. Well, let's take them off. Act like it's a difficult task to swap the keycaps, bro. How did I do that, bro? Wait! Someone stole my avatar? I mean, it is just from the internet. Ow. That hurt. Someone took my... Who's stealing my style? That's Gordon Freeman's my thing. Alright, got him. Alright, let's reinstall these stinking caps. Dang it. Fun. Fun. Alright. Let's get my spudger thing out. Where'd it go? Yeah, who the heck, man? Who's stealing my avatar? That's me, dude. When people see Gordon Freeman, they know it's me. And when they see my AI-generated Gordon Freeman avatar, they know that's me. The heck? They're stealing... It's identity theft. What is it? Identity theft is... To quote The Office, identity theft is not a joke, Jim. Millions of families suffer every year. So, to quote The Office. So, I know I was an imposter. So, I mean, I really don't care. I could care less, man. Like, my Gordon Freeman avatar is literally an image I got off Google that looked really cool. Like, I like that photorealistic Gordon Freeman I just got off the internet. So, it's public domain, but just don't try to act like you know anything about Alps, please. That's all I ask. That's kind of my thing. I'll gladly educate you, though. There we go. All right, let's try this again. Let's relube these stinking ones, and we'll go from there. It's all fun. All right. Cool. All right. Let's get my plus. Let's do the plus first. Awesome. All right, let's push these in. Okay, got that. Let's just add a little bit of lube under here. Oh yeah, dude, I loved it. Alien Earth, that was an interesting show. Yeah, I saw them promoted at Comic-Con, so I was kind of curious to watch the show. So it was cool. It's cool for what it was. I'm a big science fiction fan, so anything from that universe is great. I mean, and in space, no one can hear you scream. It's like one of the best taglines ever for like a science fiction film. So, yeah, definitely a big love, lot of love for that the Alien franchise. That's like one of the things that made me fall in love with science fiction originally. So, yeah, Alien, Predator, Star Wars, Star Trek, 2001: Space Odyssey. I love science fiction, so a lot of cool stuff out there. Okay, let's just get these wires lubed up, and let's get these in the correct orientation. Let's make sure we have them on there correctly. All right, there we go. Awesome. Now we got our enter and our plus put in correctly. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, like, again, sci-fi, there's just so much cool stuff out there. I need to get another wire out. So, we need a 2U wire. So, let me find them. Thankfully, I have a metric crap load of them. So, I need one for my ISO enter. So, let's just pull one out. There we go. That'll do. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff. So, cool. Yeah, the original Predator is like one of my like all-time favorite movies. Like OG Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day. Like, such good. Like, I love those over-the-top, like, OG, cheesy, macho, like, action movies. Like, when I was a kid, I would watch, like, those films with, like, my old man. And a lot of good memories watching those films. So, it's good time. So, we're just lubing these up. So, yeah, that's super cool. It's a good time. Like, I love science fiction. It's just like my favorite genre, and I like that it definitely gets it's getting its moment in proper like recognition, which is really cool because like just sci-fi is such a fun genre. I think it's just cool using your imagination and thinking of like what could be possible, and you have like I mean I love all types of science fiction, like whether it be like something more like hopeful like Star Trek. Or like if you're doing something more bleak, like something like 1984, or like post-apocalyptic science fiction, like it's just a genre I love, and it's my favorite. Like in terms of like my favorite movies, my favorite TV shows, comic books, video games, sci-fi is like my go-to. It's like my bread and butter. So like even on like the gaming side, like most games I'll play are gonna be some form of science fiction. So let's put our ISO enter as our first ISO build with Alps at least. Cool. And then the spacebar, which is the part that always sucks. Because Alps spacebars just suck. Let's put it that way. Not that they sound bad, it's just I hate installing them. So. And also big-ass enters. Even though big-ass enters are my favorite, big-ass enters are kind of a pain in the ass. So there we go. Got that. Look at that, folks. So these sound really good. Yeah, those sound really good. So. Let's get this one going. Let's lube our clips here. Cool. Let's lube our wires, hold clips under the bottom of the spacebar. Cool. Got that one. Let's lube this wire. Everybody making good time today. So. Cool. All right, let's clip this puppy in. And then we'll get going. Yeah, I have this little flat stab thingy I use, so. Okay, let's get some. Okay, I gotta get a weird angle to do this one. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun, everybody. Oh, this is so delightful, everybody. So much fun doing this spacebar. I'm having so much fun right now, guys. Give me a minute. Got one side in, thank God. So much fun, everybody. Got it. All right, let me just add a little bit of lube on these clips down here, and then we're good. I did not do the Pangea. So let me talk about Bull. I love Bull. He's awesome. Really good dude. I got my S100 from Bull. He hasn't made a design I like. I don't know. I have designers I really like, and I want a Bull board for my collection because he's such a cool dude in the community. But Bull, I haven't found a Bull keyboard design that I like. So, the Manta was cool project. And again, I'm not saying don't buy Bull boards. All of Bull's boards are great buys. The good quality, good design. I just don't like them. If I'm going to support a board on group buy, like, I have to like the design. Like, I can't just hate it. So, yeah, so the board has to speak to me. So, no, please don't take this the wrong way. I absolutely love Bull. He's amazing. In the interactions I've had, my chats I've had with him online, he is one of the nicest people in the keyboard hobby. He just has not made a board I like design-wise. And that's no insult to him. It's just, again, he has a particular design aesthetic, and it's just he hasn't made one. Now, if Bull has a project and I like that design speaks to me, I'll probably pick it up because I want a Bull board for the collection. But as of right now, I don't have one. So, all right. So I think we're done with stabs. So, spacebar came out good. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna put this in the case actually. So let me get my bottom case first because that's where most of the work is going to be on this. And then we'll start doing keycaps. Yeah. Okay, let's get those. And I want to get my cable because the cable has to go through the board a specific way. So let me figure out how the heck I'm doing this. So... yeah, this cable has to go through a specific way. All right, give me a second. This cable has to go in a very particular way. Cool, there we go. Alright, yeah, this cable goes in a very specific way. So I'm just making sure everything works correctly. So it's kind of interesting how it all goes together. But that's kind of how it goes. That's kind of what we're going for right here. So what's cool about this board is the cable kind of tucks away under here, which is really nice. So let me get my feet out too. My feetsies. For this one. So for DCS, you have to use Cherry MX. So that's the one that I have I have 4 DCS sets in my personal builds. I have DCS Alpine Winter, I have DCS Reaper, DCS 9009, and DCS White on Black. DCS sets are awesome. Some people do there's only 6 of them. They're expensive. They don't make them anymore. And you either love their design or you hate. You either love how they sound or you hate how they sound. That's just kind of how they go. So some people just don't like the sound on them. So give me a second, folks. We're just going to get this board mounted. We want to get this ground wire right here sandwiched in between. So let's get that one in. And let's start screwing in. Okay, we're doing a bottom mount on this one. Cool. So we have that right now, so that's our ground. And let's get our other one over here for our bottom mount. So the plate and PCB will be held in. All right, we are firmly installed in there, and let's plug our cable in. Let's just make sure it's kind of out of the way of everything so we don't get it kind of caught on anything. All right, I think we're good there. Let me see if the top case goes on correctly. Yeah, this is a very particular way how this all goes together. Gotta see these clips really quick. Give me a second, folks. All right. Yeah, I don't want to damage anything, so I want to make sure this goes down correctly. Yeah, so it's kind of... So 9009, you kind of missed the boat on that one, man. It was in stock at Canon Keys for like ever. So that's where I got my set, and I got a couple sets for clients. The thing with DCS, there's only 6 sets they ever made, and there's only about 100 each of them. So I'm still missing DCS Pingmaster and DCS Yuri. Still trying to track those down. But yeah, I've not been able to successfully get them as of yet. Just trying to... God, I forgot. I don't want to break the clips because I made... The blue cubes know I made a mistake on my FK 2001. I snapped clips off that one. And that wasn't fun. So I'm just trying to be careful on how I do this to get this together. So it's just these clips on the front are really weird. There we go. Got them. Got him. All right, sorry, I had to like get down low so I can get those clipped in. And then we can screw in our case. Yeah, we got the front. Now let's get our last of our case stuff on there, and then we'll be good. So. Cool. And then we'll put keycaps on. Yeah, it was there forever. So, yeah, you kind of missed the boat on that one, unfortunately. Yeah, but be patient. Sometimes good deals on the DCS sets pop up on Mech Market, on Reddit, and like Discord. So, as long as you're patient, if you really want a DCS set, like you can get one. You just gotta be patient, but don't overspend on that set. That's just all I say. So there we go. Got the case all put together. So we're gonna put, that's cool about this one. It has a detached cable, but the cable is like hidden here, which is really nice. You can kind of stow it away. So let me put the little feetsies on. So, oh, put them on the wrong side. Oops. Let's pull these off. So I know you're talking about. It's not gonna happen. I asked. It's not. At least to my knowledge, as of right now, it's not happening. Just the way the market is, unfortunately. Because I asked. Because that was a DCS Smart. He was gonna do a run of. So let me just put this in here. And there you go. So that's what's really cool about this board, is the cable just kind of tucks away. So that's really kind of nice. Oh, Piper, I'm mixing up for someone. Oh, good. If Carter's going to do one, heck yeah, then. I'm mixing up my people online then. So there we go, folks. So there we go. Look at that. Look at this piss yellow thing. It's all together. We're going to start putting on our keycaps for final assembly. But yeah, this thing is different. It's very different, folks, and I love it. And it's just so cool. Like, this is just such a cool little keyboard. So, it's such a cool little board. So let's get the keycaps. And let's start putting them on. And then we'll be ready to get on out of here for this one. Yeah, it's a sick little board. I love it. So let me also get my picture, because some of the keys have different and weird spots. I just want to make sure I have my photo reference for this one, just to make sure I'm putting stuff where it goes. So caps lock, that's nothing special. That's normal. Alt. I'm trying to just do my big caps first, and then we'll kind of work our way around. We got our right. Going good. Yeah, this is a really cool board. I'm very happy with how it came out, because it's just it's so different. And I think that's what makes it just such a cool board. So that's what I really love about this thing. Yeah, but Blue Cubes, who knows? This may be a candidate in the future for lazy brighting. So I may ask you again how you lazy bright stuff, because yeah, I mean it'd be cool, because the plastic would be. I think this would be a fun candidate if I were to retro bright something. So yeah, let's get our. Now we're just filling in our gray caps first. Sounds really good, actually, for what it is. Where does insert go? Right here. And then once this is all put together, we'll do one last test. And then we should be good to go on this one. I just set it outside. I might do that, so we'll see. But for right now, I think I'll keep it piss yellow. But I think eventually it may be a good candidate. Okay, my scroll lock is going to go right here. Perfect. Pause is right here. The thing about this is I'm noticing you're not losing any keycaps. All the keycaps, like all the keys are here. So even though it is like an 1800, like all the keys are pretty much here, which is nice. Yeah, dude, the double F row is super sick. I love the double F row, and that you have like your navigation cluster up here in like a double row configuration. So that's nice. Okay, my escape button goes right here. Yeah, I'm just getting all these gray keycaps on here first, and then we'll work our way around it. All right, I think we're good. And let's start doing our main alpha cluster, and I think we'll be good to go. Yeah, this one came out really good. This board came out gorgeous. I'm very happy with how this board came out. So, oh, we have our other alt. And we're getting it going. So yeah. Yeah, I'm just keeping it good. So yeah, the double F row I think is super sick, because I think it just makes it, I think it gives the board just a really cool different look. 6. So I think that's what makes it fun. Yeah, this is definitely a fun build, and I'm definitely happy. I was able to track it down, Sandman, I got it from, and then Blue Cubes kind of put me onto this board, so this is a super sick board. So I'm just putting on the last of the keycaps. This has been a fun little restoration project. Getting close, folks. Hey, look at this, folks. Press F to pay respects. Look at that. All right, yeah, we had a good time today, actually, for this one. So pretty happy with how that came out. And press F to pay respects. That's how we do it. All right, yeah, but this is a really cool set. I love how this keyboard came out. It's sounding great so far. Like, all right. Put K and L over too far, so I gotta put them over one. Awesome, tilde. Getting close, everybody. Cool. All right, let me put some tools away, and we'll do some testing. But yeah, we're pretty much done for this one. It's a fun little keyboard for sure. So let me just put some of my tools away, and then we'll do some. I'll plug it into the switch tester again, just to do some final testing, and then we should be good. And I would like to do a session of monkey tape on this thing. So, all right, I think that's everything. Cool. Awesome. Just putting all these little switch bags away. Sweet. All right, so let's open it up. So I'll kind of show you how this works, how we kind of open this thing up. It's really cool. So when I was playing around with this board, when I got it, I take off this bottom panel and I extend both feet, and you just kind of take this cable out. It's a really short cable, so you don't want to have it too far away, because this was a terminal keyboard. But yeah, you just plug it in, and there we go. So that's pretty much how you use it. It has to be angled up, or else it's going to be kind of crushing your cable. But yeah, there we go, folks. So let's plug her in. And num lock works. Caps lock works. Scroll lock works. So that's really cool. Oh, it looks great. This is a phenomenal little board. This is so weird, and I love it. It is such a weird keyboard. Like, this is really cool. So let me get the switch tester open really quick, and then we're gonna retest all the switches, make sure we're not having any issues, and then we'll get going. Numlock is working correctly. Cool. 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 So far, so good. All right, that's working. Print screen works. All right, switches are all good and registering. Yeah, the question mark key and the / is over here. It's really weird. I know for ISO you put your slash right here. So it's really interesting. Yeah, that is a weird little quirk, having question mark over here. When you're typing, you're going to have to get used to going down there. So it is a quirky little layout. And also, I'm not really used to ISO. I mean, I'm an ANSI guy. I mean, I'm good old Merkin. I want to open up monkey type. I want to do a section. I want to do a couple rounds of monkey type. So let me get that open. So, all right, let me get monkey type open and we'll go from there. I want to do a section. All right, let's see if I can do this. Let's see. You guys can see my terrible typing skills. I'm a very slow typist, everybody. As much as I like keyboards, I suck at typing, but it's kind of ironic. The heck? Heck. All right. Give me a minute. I want to try that again. That was just being weird. It's really interesting. Okay. Never fine. All right, but yeah, folks, there we go, everyone. That looks, I think we got it pretty good. So there we go, folks. That is our portable PC number 2. So this is a really kind of cool, very interesting board that has been fully restored. So I'm really happy with how this one came out. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna get on off. I'm gonna clean up, put all my vintage stuff back. But again, everybody, have a great rest of your day, everybody. This is a really cool board. You'll see. Be on the lookout for pictures of this board a little bit later today, folks. So have a great day, folks.